You are 2 years old. It's an ordinary afternoon and the world is enormous. Sunlight is spilling across the kitchen floor in a slow golden bar, and you are completely fascinated by it. A dog pads past, the largest, most impossible animal you have ever seen. Somewhere above you, a familiar voice is laughing. Then two hands reach down, lift you into the air, and for one weightless second, you are flying. You laugh so hard you can barely breathe. Your whole body is joy. This is genuinely one of the happiest moments of your entire life, and you will never remember a single second of it. For the first few years of your life, you were fully awake. You were learning faster than you ever will again. Faces, words, gravity, danger, love. Thousands of days, each one crammed with more raw experience than most of your adult weeks. And almost all of it is gone, erased so cleanly that it can feel like you didn't really exist yet, like your life only switched on somewhere around age 4 or 5. Psychologists have a name for this missing stretch. They call it infantile amnesia. Nearly every human being has it. The blank runs from birth to roughly age 3, sometimes 4. And the truly strange thing isn't that you forgot, it's the reason you forgot. The obvious explanation is that a baby's brain simply isn't recording anything yet, that the hardware is too new, too unfinished to store a memory at all. But that's not what's going on. A baby's brain is not a blank tape. Newborns recognize their mother's voice within days because they were already listening to it before they were born. Infants learn the sounds of their native language, remember toys hidden behind a cloth, and pick up cause and effect at a speed no adult could match. The recording works. In fact, it's running at full volume. So the memories were made. The problem is that you can't get them back. To understand why, you have to look at one specific structure deep in the brain, the hippocampus. Think of it as the librarian of your mind. It takes a loose experience and files it into long-term storage in a way you can later walk back in and retrieve. Without the librarian, things still happen to you. You just can't pull them off the shelf on purpose. And in a baby, that librarian is still being hired. The infant hippocampus is one of the busiest construction sites in the entire body. It's flooded with brand new neurons, wiring themselves in by the thousands. That explosive growth is what lets a baby learn so fast. But it comes at a price. Every time new neurons muscle their way into an existing circuit, they can disrupt the connections that were already there. It's a little like trying to write a diary on a chalkboard while someone keeps rearranging the entire board underneath your hand. The words go down, they just don't stay put. But there's a second reason, and it's the bigger one. To remember being a baby, you would need something you didn't have yet. You'd need a you. The memories you can actually replay, your last birthday, your first day at a job, an argument in a car, are a special kind called autobiographical memories, and every one of them has a main character standing at the center, yourself. You remember these events as things that happened to me. An infant doesn't have that yet. In the first years, there's no stable sense of I, no inner narrator, and crucially, almost no language. And language turns out to be the thread that stitches an experience into a story you can revisit. Without words to tag the moment and without a self to hang it on, the experience is fully felt but never filed. It happens to a person who doesn't yet know they're a person. This is why the timing lines up so neatly. Children start forming lasting, retrievable memories right around the time they nail down language and a clear sense of self. And there's a detail here that most people get wrong. Young children can actually remember their early years. A 3-year-old can describe things from when they were 2. But those memories quietly slip away later, usually around age 7. So the amnesia isn't there from the start. It arrives. You once remembered being small. That memory was stolen from you slowly while you were busy growing up. There's even a cultural fingerprint on all this. In families and cultures where adults constantly narrate events out loud. Remember this morning when we fed the ducks? Children tend to form earlier, richer first memories. The story you can tell is the story you get to keep. But here's where it turns from a science fact into something stranger. Those lost years didn't vanish without a trace. They're still inside you. You just can't read them. Because, alongside the memories you can consciously replay, there's a second, silent kind, implicit memory, and that kind never left. Your very first years quietly set your defaults, how safe the world tends to feel, how you respond to stress, the specific melody of your native language, the tastes you reach for, the fears that seem to come from nowhere. A person exposed to a language as a baby and then separated from it can relearn its sounds faster decades later, even with no conscious memory of ever hearing it. The recording was never deleted. It was moved to a part of the mind that runs the show without ever showing its work. So sit with what that actually means. The person watching this was assembled during a chapter they will never be able to open. Your first steps, the first face you truly loved, the first time you felt completely safe in someone's arms. All of it is still operating inside you right now, invisibly, constantly, like the foundation of a house you can live in your whole life and never once see. You didn't lose those years, you're built out of them. Somewhere back there is, it was a small child who lived thousands of days you will never get back. And every single one of them helped decide who you are at this exact moment. You can't remember them, but in a way, you never stopped being them.